Hello dear students, welcome back to first PUC online classes. In this session, we will discuss concern to triple point and the concept of thermal conductivity, the transfer of heat. Let us start our concept from triple point. Triple point. Triple point of water. The beautiful concept exists in nature. One of the beautiful concept is that concept we are calling triple point. Students, we know that the matter can exist in three states. One is solid, liquid and gas. Depends on how much amount of heat is given to it. The solid can convert into liquid. That process we are calling melting process, and the reverse process we are calling freezing process. On other hand, if the liquid state convert into gaseous state, that process we are calling vaporization, and the reverse process we are calling condensation. Similarly, one more process available, already we have learned that the solid can convert into gas directly without converting into liquid. That process we are calling sublimation, and the reverse process, the conversion of gaseous state into solid state directly, that process we are calling hoarfrost. Right. The concept of triple point is exist on the basis of the variation of a pressure and temperature. We know that, students, yesterday we have discussed that the melting point and boiling point of the liquid. We know that if pressure increases, melting point decreases. But when pressure increases, what about boiling point? The boiling point of the liquid is increases. Right thing? What happens here? When pressure changes gradually, temperature also changes, then boiling point changes in such a way that at a particular point, all the solid, liquid and gases, they exist in thermal equilibrium. This concept we are calling triple point. Simply, I want to give the briefly explanation regarding the triple point of the water. Students, what I am saying, if pressure increases gradually, what about boiling point? Boiling point of the water also increases. You know the concept of pressure cooker. When pressure increases, temperature also increases, then what happens? Boiling point of any one food materials will increase. Definitely it early boils. Right. The triple point concept, let us see in detail. I will take first of all the pressure and temperature graph. The pressure along y-axis and the temperature along x-axis. This graph we are calling phasor diagram. See here how the phasor diagram looks like. Look at me. This is the phasor diagram. Look at me. This we are calling temperature and this is pressure. What I said that the boiling point of the liquid increases with increase in pressure. Directly I can call the pressure directly proportional to temperature. Directly proportional to boiling point. How much pressure increase, that much temperature increase. Interesting fact is, we can convert solid into liquid, liquid into gas by providing heat. But without providing heat, you can convert solid into liquid, liquid into gas and gas into again solid and liquid by increasing pressure and by increasing temperature. Here we are not going to heat, we are not going to provide any amount of heat to the system. Just we want to increase the temperature and we want to increase the pressure. Depending on pressure and temperature, what happens? Depending on pressure and temperature, the substance can convert from solid to liquid and liquid to gas, again gas to solid and liquid. Right. Let us see in detail. See here, when pressure increases, temperature also increases. For water, we know that the water exists in three states. One we are calling solid, this one we are calling liquid, and this is nothing but gas. Student, already we know that. At 0 degrees Celsius or below 0 degrees Celsius, water exists as solid. Or at 0 degrees Celsius or above 0 degrees Celsius, water exists as liquid. And exactly at 100 degrees Celsius, water exists as vapor, or below at 100 degrees Celsius, the water can exist as liquid or also at a vapor. Already we have learned the change of state in the last class. Now, if the pressure changes, the temperature changes. Water can exist in three states by varying pressure and temperature. If we change the pressure and temperature, the solid can convert into liquid, liquid can convert into gas. How the phasor diagram of water can exist at triple point? I can define the triple point in this way. Triple point is the point on the phasor diagram at a particular temperature and pressure where all three states of matter are coexist in equilibrium. This concept we are calling triple point. See here, for water I want to change the pressure and I want to change the temperature. We are going to only, if pressure increases, temperature also increase here. See here. First of all, I want to draw the PV diagram. I am triple point of water, then we will discuss in detail. See here. This is nothing but PV diagram, PT diagram or phasor diagram for water. Phasor diagram for water. This we are calling phasor diagram. See here, if we change the pressure, then temperature changes in such a way that the water exists in three states. Look at me. This point I am calling O point. This is the P point I can call. This is M point. I can call this the N point. Right. See here. Remember, here temperature how much available? Here temperature may be 150 degrees Celsius available. Here may be 0 degree available. Right. Here how much it may be available? It may be 100 degree available here. It may be 100 degree available here only. Right. Now see here. This line I can call. Here the water exists as solid. Here water exists as liquid. And here the water exists as the gas or vapor. How it is possible? How it is possible? We know that when temperature increase, pressure increase. When pressure increase, boiling point increase. Look at me here. Below 0 degrees Celsius, this is the solid nature I can call. Below 0 degrees Celsius, water exists as ice. Solid. And this is the 0 degrees Celsius, exactly at 0 degrees Celsius or above 0 degrees Celsius. This is the corresponding pressure. This is the corresponding pressure. Then what about this? This is the corresponding temperature. Here water exists as liquid. Water exists as liquid. Right. Then exactly at 100 degrees Celsius I can call. Exactly at 100 degrees Celsius. The water may exist as a liquid or water may exist as a gas. Right. This is the gas phase I can call. This is the liquid phase. What about this? This is a solid phase. Then this is solid, liquid and gas at a particular pressure, and at a particular temperature. What is the pressure here? The pressure of the water, it is a 610.24 Pascal and temperature exactly 0.01 degrees Celsius. What is the temperature? If the temperature is 0.01 degrees Celsius and pressure is a 610.24 Pascal, exactly the solid, liquid and gas are coexist. The temperature, this temperature 0.01. This we are calling triple point. Triple point means the point on the phasor diagram corresponding to pressure and temperature where all three states of matter are in equilibrium. This concept we are calling triple point. I mean, the water exists in three states at the pressure 110.24 Pascal at the temperature 0.01 degrees Celsius. If we decrease the pressure, gradually temperature decrease. At a particular temperature, say 0.01 degrees Celsius and 610.24 Pascal, the water exists as liquid, vapor and gas. We can't see. At the same time, the matter does not exist solid, liquid and gas, you can imagine. But here possibility is there. How it is possible? If we decrease the pressure gradually, the temperature of water decreases in such a way that at a particular temperature, say 0.01 degrees Celsius, water exists as a solid, liquid and vapor. I mean ice, vapor along with the liquid water. See here. Now we want to discuss the all in detail graph. What I said, when pressure increases, boiling point increases below 0 degrees Celsius. Below 0 degrees Celsius, water exists as ice. Above 0 degrees Celsius, water exists as liquid. Above 100 degrees Celsius, water exists as a gas, or exactly at 100 degrees Celsius, water exists as a gas. Now we want to explain in detail the triple point of the water. See here. Once again I am drawing. Look at me. This we are calling the phasor diagram. Phasor diagram means the graph of pressure versus temperature. This diagram we are calling phasor diagram. See here. Shall I call here? I will take it is the phasor diagram. This is the temperature I can call, and this is the pressure. Along y-axis I can call the pressure. Along x-axis you can represent by temperature. Look at me, how the phasor diagram of water looks like. Phasor diagram of water. Right? This is the phasor diagram of water. This state we are calling solid state of the water. This we are calling liquid state of the water. This we are calling gaseous state of the water. Right? Now here, at a particular pressure, how much pressure? 610.24 Pascal, and at a particular temperature, say how much? 0.01 degrees Celsius. See here, what about this temperature? This temperature can call negative temperature, and what about this? This we are calling 0 degrees Celsius, and this I can call 100 degrees Celsius here. We can represent no matter. Right? See here. Here the phasor diagram of triple point of water divided into 3 sections. This is one section I can call. This is the one section. See here, this section OP I can call, and one more section PM I can call, and this is one more section PN I can call. See here. First I want to discuss the triple point. In what way? If you decrease the pressure of the water, then temperature also decrease. At a particular temperature, say 0.01 degrees Celsius, or in Kelvin you can call 273.16 you can call. At a particular temperature, the water exists as solid, liquid and gas. This concept we are calling triple point. How to define? Triple point is the point on the phasor diagram corresponding to pressure and temperature where 3 states of matter are coexist in equilibrium. ಅಂದ್ರೆ 3 ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಇಕ್ವಿಲಿಬ್ರಿಯಂ ಇರಬೇಕ್ರಿ. ಸಾಲಿಡ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್, ಲಿಕ್ವಿಡ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಮತ್ತು ಗ್ಯಾಸಸ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ಗೆ ಒಂದೇ ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಟೆಂಪರೇಚರ್ ಇರಬೇಕು. ಆ ಪಾಯಿಂಟಿಗೆ ನಾವೇನು ಕರಿತೀವಿ? ಟ್ರಿಪಲ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಇದು ಯಾವಾಗ ಪಾಸಿಬಲ್ ಅದ? ನೀವು ಏನೂ ಹೀಟ್ ಮಾಡಲಾರ್ದೇ ಒಂದು ವಸ್ತುದ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ ಡಿಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋತ ಬಂದರೆ ಅದು ಟೆಂಪರೇಚರು ಡಿಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ಈ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಟೆಂಪರೇಚರು ಡಿಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ಒಂದು ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಟೆಂಪರೇಚರ್, ಒಂದು ಪರ್ಟಿಕ್ಯುಲರ್ ಪ್ರೆಷರಿಗೆ ಬಂದ ಸಾಲಿಡ್, ಲಿಕ್ವಿಡ್ ಮತ್ತು ಗ್ಯಾಸ 3 ಸ್ಟೇಟ್ ಕಾಣ್ತದೆ ರೀ. ಆ ಸ್ಟೇಟಿಗೆ ನಾವೇನು ಕರಿತೀವಿ? ಟ್ರಿಪಲ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. Right. Then let us discuss these lines. The line I can call OP line I can call PM line and PN line. Look at me here. The line OS or OP line is called Hoar-Frost line. Hoar-Frost line. The line PM, it is called a steam line. And the line PN, it is called ice line. This is called ice line. Right? Then let us discuss one by one. In the Hoar-Frost line, the solid and gas are coexist in thermal equilibrium. I mean along the Hoar-Frost line, the solid and gas are having same amount of temperature but at different pressure. See here, this is the line. In this line, the solid and gas are there in co-equilibrium. What happens? We know that when pressure increases in the atmosphere, the water molecules available in the form of vapor. But when pressure increases gradually, pressure increases slowly. When pressure increases, the gas state or vapor state is converted into solid state. In the hoarfrost line, what happens? First thing is, the solid state and gas state, they are in thermal equilibrium along this line, along the line OP. Here what happens? When pressure decreases in the atmosphere, the water molecules are available in the form of vapor. But when pressure slowly increase, the gas is converted into solid. This concept we are calling snowfall. We know that snowfall here, what happens? When temperature becomes constant, the pressure gradually increase, then directly the vapors in the atmosphere is converted into solid. This process we are calling sublimation. Sublimation means what? The solid is converted into gas directly, but when gas is converted into solid, that process we are calling hoarfrost. Hoarfrost is responsible for snowfall. Here how snowfall happens? When pressure gradually decreases below 0 degrees Celsius, it is happening. Below 0 degrees Celsius. When below 0 degrees Celsius, when slowly pressure increase, the gas is converted into solid. Right? And the line PM we are calling steam line. This we are calling the steam line. At the steam line, this is the gas. The liquid and gas along the steam line must be in equilibrium. I mean, at this point, the liquid and gas must be in equilibrium. Right. It's mean above 100 degrees Celsius, if we increase the pressure, gradually what happens? The liquid is converted into gas. See here, at this point lesser amount of pressure is there. This is the lesser amount of temperature, but here more pressure is there. What happens? Liquid is converted into gas exactly at 100 degrees Celsius. Exactly at 100 degrees Celsius. Are you following? When pressure increases gradually, temperature also increase. Then at this point, at what point I can call? At the steam line, the liquid is converted into gaseous state. And the one more line I can call, this line PM. This PM line we are calling ice line. In ice line, this is a solid state I can call. Which one I can call the solid state? This is a solid state. Along the line PM, the solid state and liquid state are in equilibrium. I mean, below 0 degrees Celsius, the water exists as ice. Above 0 degrees Celsius, the solid is converted into liquid. So here, this we are calling triple point. I mean, if we change the pressure and if we change the temperature, gradually the matter reaches at a particular temperature, so that the three states of matter like solid, liquid and gas are exist in equilibrium. This concept we are calling triple point. And triple point of the water is 0.01 degrees Celsius or 273.16 Kelvin. Right. After this, we need to discuss the one more concept, that is the transfer of heat. That concept we will see now. Right. Next concept is modes of heat transfer. Modes of heat transfer. Modes of heat transfer. Modes of heat transfer. I mean, we know that when system is hot, when the hot system placed in surrounding, heat can transfer from a hot system to cold system or a hot system to surrounding. The heat mainly transfer in three ways or transfer in three modes. The transfer of heat takes place in three modes. One mode is the conduction, second one is convection and third one is radiation. I mean, there are three modes of heat transfer. One mode of heat transfer is nothing but conduction. Second mode of heat transfer is convection. Third mode of heat transfer is nothing but a radiation. I mean, heat transfer in three ways. First way is conduction, convection and radiation. See here, the conduction, the transfer of heat takes place conduction in solid. I mean, in solid the transfer of heat takes place by conduction method. In a liquid, the transfer of heat takes place by convection. Radiation, the transfer of heat takes place in gases. Now we need to discuss in detail concern to conduction, convection and radiation. One by one we will see. See here, conduction I will take. Conduction. See here, I already said that the conduction, it is the transfer of heat that takes place in solid. To understand the concept of conduction, now I will take a solid, I mean conductor I will take. To the conductor I want to connect the hot system and I want to connect the cold system. Shall I take here? First of all I will take this is nothing but conductor. I will take, this is the conductor, right? To this conductor I want to provide some amount of heat. I can call like this. See here, this is nothing but conductor. I can call, this is the conductor. To this conductor I want to connect the hot system, or I can to provide some amount of heat, no matter. Shall I provide some amount of heat at the one end? Look at me, I can call, this is the amount of heat I can give. Amount of heat, the amount of heat given here, right? When amount of heat is given, what is the temperature here? Temperature is nothing but T1, or I can call the temperature is nothing but theta1. Temperature is nothing but theta1. Gradually when heat is provided, temperature gradually increase. When temperature gradually increase, the heat transfer from one part of the conductor to another part of the conductor. Heat transfer from one part of the conductor to another part of the conductor by vibration of each molecules of the conductor. Because in the conductor so many molecules are compactly close together. Here what happens? How the transfer of heat takes place in the conductor from one region to another region. See here, I can call, when amount of heat is given at one side, whatever atoms here, this atom absorb maximum amount of energy. Actually in conductor how the atoms are joined? The atoms are joined like this. Remember, it is one atom. Atoms are joined like this. Atoms are joined like this by intermolecular force. Like this. Atoms are joined like this. When heat is provided at one end, the one atom absorb maximum amount of heat. As a result, this atom start to vibrate about their mean position. As a result, when it oscillates with maximum amplitude, this atom transfer heat energy to neighboring molecule. Again, this molecule start to vibrate about their mean position. Again, it can transfer heat energy to next molecule. Again, this atom same way, it get the maximum thermal energy. Again, it vibrate. It can transfer to this molecule. I mean, the transfer of heat takes place from one part of the conductor to another part of the conductor without actual movement. How they vibrate? Just they vibrate about their mean position, get transferred to heat in the next molecule, again comes back. Again transfer, again comes back, like this. I mean, the transfer of heat takes place from one part of the conductor to another part of the conductor without actual momentum of the particle about their mean position. This process we are calling conduction. Then conduction, how to define? Conduction is the process of transfer of heat from one part of the conductor to another part of the conductor without actual momentum of particles about their mean position. This we are calling conduction. Conduction means the transfer of heat takes place in the conductor due to vibration of their molecules about their mean position without leaving their position. Just they can vibrate, transfer to next molecule, again next molecule, then heat transfer from one end to another end. Then the transfer of heat from one side of the conductor to another side of the conductor, on what factor it depends. This concept we will see now. To understand the transfer of heat from one region of the conductor to another region of the conductor, I will take the small cube. I will take the small cube here. See here, look at me. This is the small cube I can take. This is the small cube. Right. This is the one face I can call. See here, this is the one face. This is one face. Right. First face I can call. Right. And this is nothing but the length of the cube. This also length of the cube. Here area is equal to length into length, volume is equal to length into length I can call. See here, this face one is there, this one we are calling the second face. Now to one side I want to provide some amount of heat. Remember here some amount of heat is provided. Look at here, at one edge. At one edge I want to provide some amount of heat at this point. Shall I take here? At this point I want to provide some amount of heat. So here temperature is there. What is the temperature? Temperature equal to, I can call theta 1. In this case, shall I take it as theta 1? Then when heat is provided, gradually temperature increases, heat transfer from one part to another part. Remember, at this space, how much temperature available? Theta 2 available. Look at me. The amount of heat transfer from one part of the conductor to another part of the conductor mainly depends on area. More the area, more the amount of heat transfer. Lesser the area, lesser the amount of heat transfer. See here, first I can call the amount of heat transfer from one part of the cube to another part of the cube. I mean one face of the cube to another face of the cube, directly proportional to area. And directly proportional to temperature difference between opposite faces. Directly proportional to temperature difference between opposite faces. And directly proportional to time elapse. How much time is given, that much amount of heat transfer. Are you following what I am saying? The amount of heat transfer from one face to another face depends on area of the face, depends on a temperature difference between two faces, and directly proportional to time elapse. Time elapse means how much time given, that much amount of heat will flow. And inversely proportional to length between or distance between two faces. Mainly the amount of heat transfer, that depends on 4 factors. One is the area, second one is the temperature difference, third one is the time elapse, and fourth one is the distance between two faces. Or I can call the amount of heat transfer equal to some constant area into temperature difference theta 1 minus theta 2 into time elapse divided by how much? This is L. Right? I mean the amount of heat transfer from one region to another region depends on area, different temperature difference, time elapse, and distance between two faces. Or amount of heat flow equal to some constant K. And I will put the negative sign here, negative sign. Here I will explain what is the mean by negative sign. And the constant K we are calling thermal conductivity. See here, the constant K, how to write? The constant K is equal to Q into L divided by how much? A into theta 1 minus theta 2 into how much? T, where the constant K the constant K we are calling thermal conductivity. See here, there are two types of material. One is good conductor of heat, second one is bad conductor of heat. The materials which allow easily to pass through them heat, those materials we are calling good conductor of heat. Generally all metals are good conductors of heat. Similarly, the materials which does not allow easily to pass heat through them, those materials we are calling bad conductors of heat. Mica I can call, glass I can call, flint I can call, all these are bad conductors of heat. Then question is, how to define thermal conductivity? How to define thermal conductivity, on what factor it depends? See here, the thermal conductivity I can define like this. Look at me here. Thermal conductivity, if the case length of the face equal to 1 meter, area of the space is equal to 1 meter square, and time is equal to 1 second, and the temperature difference between two faces equal to 1 degree Celsius. If theta 1 minus theta 2 1 degree, length is equal to 1 meter, area is equal to 1 meter square, t is equal to 1 second, then what about this? L equal to 1, A is equal to 1, theta 1 minus theta 2 equal to 1, t is equal to 1, then shall I write thermal conductivity is equal to amount of heat transfer. Amount of heat transfer, how to define? See here, the volume, length is 1, area is 1 meter square, then what is volume? Volume is 1 meter cube. From this second define thermal conductivity. Thermal conductivity is the amount of heat transfer. Thermal conductivity is amount of heat transfer between two opposite faces of 1 meter cube. In 1 second, if two faces are maintained by 1 degree Celsius difference. Shall I define thermal conductivity once again? Look at me. Thermal conductivity is amount of heat transferred between two faces of 1 meter cube in 1 second if opposite faces are maintained by temperature difference of 1 degree Celsius. This we are calling thermal conductivity. And the thermal conductivity, it depends on nature of material. For different material, thermal conductivity is a different value. I mean, the materials which has more thermal conductivity, those are called as good conductors of heat. The good conductors of heat ಹೇಳಿ ನಿಮಗೆ ಯಾವ ವಸ್ತು heat ಅನ್ನು easily flow ಮಾಡ್ತದ ಆ ವಸ್ತು ನಾವೇನು ಕರಿತೀವಿ good conductor of heat ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. So generally all metals having more thermal conductivity. This good conductors of heat I can define in two ways. The materials which has more thermal conductivity, those materials I can call good conductors of heat, and the materials which are low thermal conductivity, those are called as bad conductors of heat. See here, this is concerned to thermal conductivity of the material. Then for thermal conductivity, how to define SI unit and how to write the dimensional formula. Look at this. Look at this one, I can call K is equal to how much? K is equal to, Q is there, Q is nothing but heat, heat is nothing but joule. L is nothing but length, length is measured in meter, whole divided by A is nothing but area, area is a meter square, theta 1 minus theta 2 is nothing but Kelvin, time it is nothing but measured in second, right? Then 1 meter get cancelled. What is SI unit of thermal conductivity? It is a joule per meter, per Kelvin and per second. So SI unit of thermal conductivity is a joule per meter, per Kelvin, per second. For this, then similarly you can write dimensional formula. From this equation you can write, see here, K is equal to joule. Joule is nothing but energy. What is energy dimensional formula? mLT raised to minus 2, right? Kelvin dimensional formula is per K. Second dimensional formula is per T, right? Then how to write dimensional formula of the thermal conductivity? This I can write mL square T raised to minus 3 K raised to minus 1. This is the dimensional formula of thermal conductivity. I mean, thermal conductivity has a SI unit, joule per meter per Kelvin per second, and dimensional formula is this value. Now students, here when amount of heat transfer from one region of the conductor to another region of the conductor, I can define two quantity. One is heat current and second one is temperature gradient. Temperature gradient. Look at me here. From this equation I can call. From this equation how to write? Q is equal to what value? See here. Shall I represent? Amount of heat transfer, K is equal to, Q is equal to, K is thermal conductivity, area into how much? Temperature difference, theta 1 minus theta 2 into time elapsed divided by how much? Temperature. Right? See here, if you are taking Q divided by T, where Q divided by T is nothing but rate of heat flow. Q divided by T we are calling rate of heat flow for steady state. Steady state means at a particular temperature there is no amount of heat flow across two phases. Here when heat provided, heat will transfer from one end to another end at a particular temperature, there is no amount of heat transfer. That state we are calling steady state. Look at me. This we are calling Q by T. Q by T is nothing but rate of heat flow. How to write rate of heat flow? Rate of heat flow is equal to K into A into how much? Theta 1 minus theta 2 whole divided by how much? This is L, where the rate of heat flow we are calling heat current. This we are calling heat current. Rate of heat flow. Rate of heat flow. Along with I provide negative sign. Negative sign. See here. The rate of heat flow across one phase of the conductor to another phase of the conductor. This we are calling heat current. The heat current generally represented by H value. Similarly, from the second column, see here. If length of the material increase, length of the conductor increase gradually, what about heat? Heat will decrease. Heat decreases mean temperature decreases. See here, how the temperature decreases. Shall I take the conductor here? I will represent this is the conductor. Look at me. Here some amount of heat is provided. Some amount of heat is provided here. Here temperature how much? T1. How much amount of heat is given? This much amount of heat is given. But what about here? Here temperature may be T2. Here temperature may be how much? T3. Here temperature is how for? What about this? This is nothing but the length. Right? Or can call theta 1, theta 2, theta 3. I represent here only. This is theta 1, theta 2. This is theta 3. What about this? This is theta 4. Right? Here this temperature theta 1 greater than theta 2, theta 2 greater than theta 3, theta 3 greater than theta 4. I mean gradually if the length of the material increase, temperature is fall. Length of the material increase, then temperature is fall. See here, when length of the material increase, then temperature fall, we are defining one more physical quantity. The physical quantity is nothing but temperature gradient. See here. I can define the temperature gradient like this. Look at me here. In what way I can define? See here. Shall I represent this equation? Temperature gradient. Temperature gradient I can call. This is the material. This is the material. Right. When heat is provided here. This much amount of heat provided. Here temperature is theta 1. What about temperature? Here theta 2. What about length? Length equal to L. Right. See, a temperature gradient mean the decrease in temperature with increase in length. The decrease in temperature with increase in length from hotter end, because it is hotter end. This concept we are calling temperature gradient. Shall I define a temperature gradient? Temperature gradient is nothing but the decrease in temperature with increase in length along with a negative sign. Here negative sign indicates as a length increase, the temperature decrease. ಹೆಂಗೆ ಲೆಂತ್ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತದೆ ಅವಾಗ ಟೆಂಪ್ರೇಚರ್ ಏನಾಗ್ತದೆ ರೀ ಡಿಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ಈ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟಿಗೆ ನಾವೇನು ಕರಿತೀವಿ ಟೆಂಪ್ರೇಚರ್ ಗ್ರೇಡಿಯಂಟ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿತೀವಿ. ಇಫ್ ಟೆಂಪ್ರೇಚರ್ ಗ್ರೇಡಿಯಂಟ್ ಇಸ್ theta 1 minus theta 2 divided by L, then see here I can modify this equation in so many ways. How to modify actually? See here, this Q divided by T is nothing but rate of heat flow. Rate of heat flow. How to write rate of heat flow? It is K into A. How much? Theta 1 minus theta 2 whole divided by how much? This is L along with minus sign. But theta 1 minus theta 2, it is a temperature gradient. SI unit is Kelvin per meter or degree Celsius per meter I can call. See here, theta 1 minus theta 2 divided by L is nothing but temperature gradient. Q divided by T is nothing but heat current, rate of heat flow. Rate of heat flow we are calling temperature gradient. See, rate of heat flow K is equal to K is nothing but thermal conductivity into A. This one, temperature gradient. This relation I can modify. I mean, there is a relation between thermal conductivity, temperature gradient and heat current. You can represent by this equation. Simply, thermal conductivity is what? The ability of the conductor to flow the amount of heat. We can call ability of the conductor to flow the amount of heat. Simply, how to define? Thermal conductivity is the amount of heat transfer to opposite face of the conductor of 1 meter cube in 1 second, and opposite faces are maintained by 1 temperature difference degree Celsius. Now, we need to calculate thermal conductivity for different cases. Different cases mean I want to connect two materials in series and parallel. Then for that I need to calculate the thermal conductivity. I need to calculate the common temperature. Let us see the thermal conductivity of composite slabs. Next concept is thermal conductivity of composite slabs. Look at me. Thermal conductivity of composite slabs. Thermal conductivity of composite slab. Composite slab. Right, students? Now I will take two slabs of equal area and different length are connected in series. Shall I do here? I will take, this is nothing but the slab. Different slab I will take of the same area. Shall I take? The different material I can call. This is the different material. This is one different material, right? This is one more material of equal area. I will take equal area. But what about length? Length is nothing but L1, right? Here what is the length? Length is nothing but L2. Different material mean the material having different thermal conductivity. Now I want to provide some amount of heat at the one end. Shall I provide here amount of heat? See here amount of heat is provided. This much amount of heat is provided. Here temperature how much? Temperature is T1. Then what about here temperature? Temperature I will call theta 1 here. See here temperature is theta 1. Here how much temperature available? Theta 2 available. But when these two conductors connected from one end to another end at this joining, there is some amount of temperature. That temperature we are calling theta. With theta we are calling common temperature. Common temperature means the temperature exists at the joining of two conductors. This we are calling common temperature. Here I need to calculate equivalent thermal conductivity and common temperature. But remember students, I defined heat current. What is heat current? The rate of heat flow. The rate of heat flow at every point in series combination remains same. What combination I am calling this is? This is series combination. Series combination of composite rod. We discuss in two ways. One is series, second one is parallel. In series combination, how much heat current flows here? Same amount of heat current flows here and total equal to H. I mean directly the heat current at every section must be equal. Right. Then let us calculate the common temperature theta and the equivalent thermal conductivity. Shall I go here? Then see here, for first slab I will take. For first slab, length is equal to L1 and K1 is equal to thermal conductivity. Shall I take the amount of heat transfer in for length L1? Amount of heat transfer Q1 directly proportional to area, directly proportional to temperature difference, what? Theta 1 minus theta. Theta 1 minus theta for slab, and directly proportional to time elapse, inversely proportional to length. L1 I can call. Here equal area available, or the amount of heat transfer equal to some constant A into theta 1 minus theta 2 into T whole divided by L1 whole divided by K1. K1 is nothing but thermal conductivity of one slab. Then again I can represent heat current. This is Q1 divided by T. What is Q1 divided by T? Thermal conductivity K1 into area into how much? Temperature difference theta 1 minus theta 2 whole divided by how much? This is L, right? Or Q1 divided by T is nothing but heat current. I can call H1. H1 I can call. See here. From this again how to represent H1? H1 is equal to how much? K1 into A into how much? Theta 1 minus theta 2 whole divided by how much? This is L value, right? From this I need theta. Sorry, this is theta, not theta 2. This is theta, right? I need theta 1. From this how to write? Theta 1 minus theta. Theta 1 minus theta. What is theta 1 minus theta? Theta 1 minus theta is equal to H into L. H into L divided by how much? K1 into A, right? Or theta 1 equal to how much? Theta 1 is equal to H1 into L whole divided by K1 into A plus theta value, right? Shall I call this equation number 1, right? Similarly, heat current or amount of heat transfer for second slab. For second slab, length is L2, thermal conductivity is K2, area is A2, and temperature, what is the difference? Theta minus theta 2. For this how to write? Shall I represent directly heat current? H2. H2 is equal to K2 into A. What temperature here? Temperature is theta minus theta 2. See here, this is the length L1, right? L1 available, right? Divided by how much? Length L2, right? Are you following me? Then again from this I need theta 2, or I can write theta minus theta 2 equal to how much? H2 into L2 whole divided by K2 into A. Shall I call this equation number 2 now? Or I can modify one more step. This theta to bring this side. Theta 2 equal to how much? Theta minus how much? Theta minus H2 into L2 divided by K2 into A. Now shall I call it is equation number 2 now? Right? I got theta 1 and theta 2. I got theta 1 and theta 2. See here. I will call this is equation A. I can call for my reference. I will call this is equation 2 reference. I can. For reference I am calling 1 and 2. Now students, subtract equation 1 and 2. 1 and 2. What you are getting from 1 and 2? Theta 1 minus theta 2. Theta 1 minus theta 2. What is theta 1 minus theta 2? Theta 1 minus theta 2 equal to theta 1 is what? H1 L1 whole divided by K1 into A plus theta, right? Equation 2, theta 2 equal to theta minus of this minus becomes plus now. How much? H2 L2 whole divided by K2 into A. Here theta get cancelled. Theta get cancelled. Then from this what you are writing? Theta 1 minus theta 2 equal to how much? H1 into L divided by K1 into A plus H2 into L2 whole divided by K2 into A, right? Now shall I call this is the equation number 3? I write heat current for slab 1 and heat current for slab 2, that is represented by A and B. See here, this I am calling A, this I am calling B. Look at me, this I am calling B. Right thing? Then from this what to do? The heat current for total conductor, how to write? I write for theta minus theta naught, then what about for whole current H? Total heat current. Shall I represent total heat current H? Total heat current is equal to total thermal conductivity into area. What is temperature difference? Theta minus theta 2 whole divided by total length. What is total length? Total length is equal to L1 plus L2. Are you getting? The areas are equal. Here theta 1 available, here theta 2 available. Total length is L1 plus L2. Are you following me? Right? See here. Or from this again how to write? Theta 1 minus theta 2. Theta 1 minus theta 2 equal to H into how much? H into L1 plus L2 whole divided by K into A. What is K? Equivalent thermal conductivity. K we are calling equivalent thermal conductivity. H is nothing but total heat current. Now shall I call it is equation number 4? We can call equation number 4 now. Now just compare equation 3 and 4. Equation 3 and 4. What you are getting from equation 3 and 4? See here. From equation 3 and 4, how to write? H into L1 plus L2 whole divided by K into A equal to. Shall I write this equation? H1 into L1 divided by K1 into A plus H2 into L2 whole divided by K2 into A. But initially I said that for series combination at every point heat current remains same. Prati point wala heat current agtadri same agirtada. This is a heat current remains same. If H1 is equal to H2 is equal to H, look at me. H1 is equal to H2 is equal to H. H is there. H1 can be replaced by H or H1 again replaced by H. Shall I call? For this, if H1 is equal to H2 is equal to H, how to write this value? Look at me how to write from this combination. H keep it up same. H is there into bracket how much? L1 plus L2 whole divided by K into A equal to right? Equal to how to write? This is equal to L1 H1 or H1 L1 whole divided by K1 into A plus again H2 L2 whole divided by K2 into A. H is common. Here H is common. H is common because H1 is equal to H2 is equal to H. Then here H is cancel and A is also cancel because all are common. Here A also common, here A also common. Shall I solve directly? L1 plus L2 whole divided by K equal to L1 divided by K1 plus L2 divided by K2, or I can write equivalent thermal conductivity K. What is K? K is equal to L1 plus L2 whole divided by L1 divided by K1 plus L2 divided by K2. It is equivalent thermal conductivity. I mean, if two conductors are joined together in series combination, the equivalent thermal conductivity K is equal to L1 plus L2 divided by L1 divided by K1 plus L2 divided by K1. If the case, in what condition available? At this condition, always heat current remains same and areas are equal. Series combination mean if area of each rod equal and heat current remains same, this combination we are calling combination of series of thermal conductivity for heat current. Here, in this case, if L1 is equal to L2 is equal to L, I mean area already equal, now length also equal. If length are equal, length also equal, area also equal, then how to represent? If length are equal, area are equal, shall I represent this K? This K is equal to L plus L whole divided by L divided by K1 plus L divided by how much? K2. Or shall I write directly this one? K is equal to L plus L to L divided by L is common. 1 divided by K1 plus how much? 1 divided by K2 into how much? L is there, L get cancelled. Then what is equivalent thermal conductivity? Equivalent thermal conductivity we can write directly. How to write? 2 divided by 1 by K1 plus 1 divided by K2. See here, equivalent thermal conductivity is equal to 2 divided by 1 divided by K1 plus 1 divided by K2. It is equivalent thermal conductivity for what case? If length are equal and area also equal. See here, we calculated only here equivalent thermal conductivity. Then how to calculate the temperature at interface, common temperature? How to calculate common temperature? The common temperature you can calculate very easily by comparing the heat current. How to compare the heat current here? Look at me. See here, we got heat current H1 and H2. Simply I will represent here. See here, equation A is available. Equation A. From equation A and equation B can calculate. This is the heat current for slab 1. Similarly, heat current for slab 2, how to write? H2 is equal to what? K1 into A. K1 into A. Theta minus theta 2 whole divided by how much? L2. Right? Shall I call this? How much? This we are calling equation B now. But for series combination, always heat remains same. For series combination, always heat remains same. Heat mean I can call H1 is equal to H2. H1 is equal to H2. Then how to write? If H1 is equal to H2, H1 is K1 A into bracket theta 1 minus theta 2. Sorry, theta 1 minus theta whole divided by how much? L1. Right? Or this is equal to H2. H2 is what? Sorry, it is K2. K2 into how much? A into bracket theta minus theta 2 whole divided by how much? L2. Right? Here area get cancelled. Let us multiply K1 inside. K1 theta 1 divided by L1 minus K1 theta divided by L1 equal to, how to write? K2 theta divided by L2 minus K2 theta 2 divided by how much? L2. Right or wrong? Just I want to rearrange. How to rearrange? K1 theta 1 divided by L1, keep it up same. This term bring this side, minus K2. Minus K2 by bring this side becomes plus K2. K2 theta 2 divided by how much? L2 equal to. This term K2 into theta divided by L2, keep it up same. Bring this side. Plus K1 theta divided by how much? It is L1. Right or wrong? Here what is common? Theta is common. If theta is common, then how to write? See here, K1 divided by L1 plus K2 divided by L2 into bracket how much? Theta equal to what is remaining here? K1 into theta 1 divided by L1 plus K2 into theta 2 divided by L2. Or theta can be written. What is theta? K1 theta 1 divided by L1 plus K2 theta 2 divided by L2 whole divided by how much? K1 L1 plus K2 L2. This is the common temperature. Right? This equation we are calling common temperature. Common temperature at the interface for series combination. Remember, in series combination, the area of each rod must be equal and heat current at every point must be remain same. This is the condition for series combination. Students, the parallel combination we will see in the next class. Thank you.